It's early March in Foxborough. The crowds are silent, but not all is quiet in Gillette Stadium. Beyond the field, in Patriots football operations, the personnel department is busy working on a new team for the upcoming season. Let's follow the Patriots scouts along their journey of building a team.
Whenever someone asks, what do you do? And the response is, well, I scout for the Patriots. And the response is, oh, that must be fun. You watch football all day and, you go to a couple games and that's you turn off the light at night and you go to bed and all set. The sacrifices that our scouts make with their families cannot be emphasized enough.
People think that this job is easy, like it's fantasy football, and it's not. You have to come here, work hard, pay your dues, learn the system, put your head down and go. And if you can do those things, you have a shot to make it.
Our scouts are on the road typically 90 days a year. So that's 90 days that they're away from their family.
Coaches and scouts will attend pro days all over the country to visit with college prospects for one final time before the NFL draft.
It's a tough time of year for our scouts. They went to the combine in Indy. You're at a pro day pretty much every single day of the week. They're gone 6 out of 7 days of the week this time of year for basically, a month straight. Hey, what's going on, Coach? How you doing, Rich? And so this is going to be the back corner of the cone.
When they go through the mini combine at the pro day, our scout's job is to evaluate the player's performance based just on that pro day.
There's no guaranteed of position work because we're going to Holy Cross. Yeah, well, you don't have to stay in this order. If you're ready, let's go. Good jump, good jump.
Our scout's job is twofold. They have to evaluate the player, whether or not he is talented enough to play for us, whether he's got the skill set to fit in our system, to evaluate the techniques that he's been taught on the field, whether or not his skill set can translate into the techniques that we're going to teach him on the field. And so there's the football component that our scouts are evaluating.
63?
The other part of it, and which is just as important as the football part of it, is the makeup of any prospects. We're trying to determine how smart a player is, how dedicated a player is, how tough a player is.
Our area scouts are involved on helping to answer some of those missing pieces, but a lot of those things come combine and beyond. It's on the Knicks, the Monties, the coaches. So now maybe it's on the position coach when he flies out to meet with Saquon Barkley or whoever it is to really put his stamp on it and say, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, Patrick was right. Saquon, it may not work here, or and I'm just using him like Saquon and Barkley be fine here, but that's not gonna be our problem. Right. It'll be long gone.
Now it's time for the coaches to see if that player can become one of us.
A lot of the guys you work out are guys you look at and say, hey, this guy's really got a chance, but there's something more I've got to find out about him. Maybe it's his personality, maybe it's the mental side of it, maybe it's something physical you couldn't see on tape or that you've got to confirm in person. To me, there's nothing more valuable than getting your hands on a guy and spending a day with him, getting to know him personality-wise, getting to know him how he is when you're coaching him.
Listen, all I want you to do is, whatever you normally do to warm up, that's what you're going to do. Okay. When you're ready to roll, you tell me. Okay.
We bring the coaches into this process around the same time, and they can go in and have a little bit different perspective than our scouts have. Maybe they go in and get involved in the actual workout, and they ask the player to do specific drills that we ask our players to do in our practice. So that gives the coach the ability to evaluate the prospect's performance with players on our current team. Furthermore, it gives a chance for our coaches to finally sit down and meet with these players one-on-one.
All I want to see you doing when we start doing his charting and punting is just catch the ball. We'll get to the drill work part in a second, but I can watch both of these at the same time. I know what I'm looking for, okay?
Yes, sir.
To me, it's big to put him into some kind of situation, ask him to do things you're going to ask him to do in practice, and get feedback from that guy's personality and how he reacts to when he's put in an uncomfortable position.
Beat it there, beat it. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? You're catching a lot of balls low right now. You're kind of tempo timing them up where you kind of catch them on the run. I don't want you to waste any steps going laterally or backwards. I want you to beat it there. So this nose turns over, I want you to think catch it on this pec because it's going to break right to the middle of your body and you can catch it. When you change something on somebody, like I went out there today and changed things on this punter, knowing he probably isn't going to react great and have a couple bad punts. Now I want to see where he goes. Does he go in the tank? Does he stick with it and trust the coaching? You know, how's he going to respond? And those are windows into what, you know, the future may hold. There you go, there you go. Get on back. Better, better.
Although the field remains quiet, the entire stadium is buzzing. Draft day has arrived. It's time to see months of assessments, evaluations, and analysis come to fruition.
The month of April is spent finalizing our draft board, so now our scouts have watched tape for 2 years. They've gone out and seen practices, and by that time, we have all the information we need to set our draft board, and that leads us right up until draft day in April. All right, guys, write this name down. Last name Wynn, W-Y-N-N. First name Isaiah. Offensive line, Georgia.
Hey Zay, it's Coach Belichick. How you doing? Congratulations, we're going to make you a New England Patriot.
When we get on the clock debating we should take this guy over this guy at that point, those decisions have been made. We adjust to what the players that have been picked before us, and we just move right on down the board and see who's available. For the most part, you know, all the major decisions come draft day are completed, and it's just waiting to see how the board falls.
Free agency after the draft is kind of like the overtime part of the draft, because there will be several players that you may have had draftable grades on that didn't get drafted.
I think this place would be a good spot for you as a free agent. You know, just how you played down there is a good fit for what we do up here defensively. So I think you'd be a good fit up here. So I think you just need to keep us in mind, you know what I mean? We got a good track record with developing young defensive linemen and think you got a lot of things what we look for. A real exciting time is towards the end of the draft and the free agency period starts, and there's strategy involved with, you know, we think we need to draft this player in the 7th round because we think that if we don't, we're not going to get him in free agency. So there's a strategy component that comes into it late in the draft.
We always say it doesn't matter how you get here. You can be drafted, undrafted. All that matters is your opportunity when you get here to make things happen. So we treat that free agency like it's overtime. We got to score more points.
It's an open opportunity, and that's how Coach Belichick looks at it. It's not where you come from, it's what you can do when you get here. I think it would be a good opportunity for you.
This is really the only time in the college process that it's a recruitment process. So we're trying to sell them on us having a good situation for them.
You have to be in here to really see what it's like. It's a free agent frenzy. I mean, phones are ringing. A lot of times you may have agents that are contacting you, coaches, players themselves who feel like they will be a good fit for your football team.
We've had success here with our undrafted free agents. This year we had J.C. Jackson. David Andrews is a captain for us now. He came in as an undrafted free agent. And so that's an important time for us to identify the right players and to then get the deal sealed with them to bring them into our team so we can build a competitive 90-man roster.
As the dog days of summer are upon us, the team returns, and so do the scouts. To get a look at the current team, and to get a jump on the 2019 draft class.
Once our scouts leave here in late July, early August, really the meat of their schedule is from August and through Thanksgiving.
One of the things that we'll do in the preseason, in addition to the practice that will be online, made available, so we're going to do some comparison tapes to different positions. We're going to go through the part of our preseason scouting process and kind of put that together. So we'll make that available to you guys. The more you can evaluate these prospects and players against the best competition possible, like that matters. Smart, tough, dependable, reliable, good fundamental players that can play well under pressure.
But in the end, the narrative that you put in the box of the player's future and saying exactly what he is for this team and what he'll do for us, they can't overemphasize the importance of that.
Well, everybody have a good fall, be safe. You know, like I said, if you guys need anything throughout the course of the fall, something comes up, like don't hesitate to reach out or ask, and just try to make sure that we get it taken care of.
As summer turns into fall, it's back to school for the scouts.
A typical day for a scout is pretty crazy. I mean, you might wake up, let's say 5:30. You may have to drive 30 minutes, get to the school, let's call it 7. You gotta watch tape, offense, defense, special teams. Now it's time to go to practice. Now it's time to get in the car and get to your next destination.
Every day is a little different, just depending on the school you're going to. Every start time's a little different. Each day is a little different, and that's kind of one of the cool things about the job.
Amidst the holiday season, the Scouts return to Gillette Stadium to present their findings on this year's draft prospects.
There might be some variation in how we see the value of a player. What we perceive as a need at the current time may not end up being a need by the time the draft rolls around in April. So we operate under the assumption that we're trying to build a completely new team.
I mean, this guy's calling out everything, and he's generally bright. This guy loves football.
We would take more of him.
Right.
Yeah. Guys like that. This guy would be fine in our program.
We basically present the player to Nick, to Monty, to the rest of the group of scouts, and we kind of rank them, the guys we've seen in our area, and basically we go over the skill set, the fit, the role, what we think of the guys as players.
But when he's free, this guy can close, and he's a violent tackler.
And he's fast, he can close pace, he can tackle.
When you get this guy on the board, if you guys go through everything with him, the install, he's going to be dialed in, he's going to be ready to go.
He flips the switch when he's on the field, he's highly competitive. Loves ball, no off-field issues, no concerns.
We never look at a situation and say, oh, it looks like we're all set at this position, so we're not going to bother scouting position X this year because we think we're in a good position.
We still got to get through the rest of the backboard guys, and then anything that's over here.
Might have been a little low on this guy. I think he could end up rising at the end of the process. But he's a good player that I definitely think would have a role for our team.
We need to evaluate our roster and know our players so we can continue to go out and find guys to make our roster better moving forward.
It's an imperfect science. It's just very subjective, and that's ultimately what we're being paid to do, is to give our opinion on the player. You know, everybody gets some right, everybody gets some wrong. We all see it a little differently, but I think generally we're kind of all within the same ballpark.
You know, it's funny, sometimes the scouts just get a feeling that a player's talent just might be the right fit here.
A great example of that is Matt Slater. Matt Slater, coming out of UCLA, he didn't really have a position. He bounced back and forth between wide receiver and safety. He wasn't really on a lot of radars in the scouting circle. But the thing with Matt Slater is that every time he turned on the tape at UCLA, this guy was a dominant special teams player. Here's a player that really didn't have a role in college except as a fourth down player in the kicking game. And we drafted him to do just that for us. He's turned out to be one of the best special teams players in the league over the length of his career. Matt Slater is a great example of our scouts digging deep, finding something that a player can do, and really it's been a successful addition to the team for a long time.
The calendar has flipped to January, and the playoffs are upon us. And of course, we're giving everything we got. The scouts know it's time to hit the road again. Leave the emotions at home. Continue to find new talent to build a new team for the upcoming year.
Luke, we're ready for you. You guys are done.
It's difficult. It's a tough business. But we have to strive to be objective. They understand that the business side of this game shows up, and that we have a responsibility to the organization to put the best 53 men on the team. And sometimes that's gonna leave some people out on the outside looking in.
Your own individual feelings can't impact what's best for the team. And you can't necessarily always scout with your heart. If you scout with your heart all the time, you can put some bad things on the paper. Now, we all have players that we love. You may give them a little bump, but at the end of the day, it's about finding the best players for our football team.